My man, Matt Caddell, former Alabama receiver, played from '03 to 2007. He joins us as often as he can on Wednesdays. Matt, what's going on? Money Matt, how you feeling?
I'm glad to be here. We finally made it. Now it's September 26th. Now the big boys really get to play football this year.
Big boys about to get down on the field and get some work done, Matt. So with the two of us here, we got this game dedicated to Alabama, Missouri, and it's the Bama players of the game. So are you ready to break down your potential players of the game?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go right now. Let's go. So we're going to start this off here offensively, Matt. We know Steve Sarkisian's going to want to have balance. He's going to want to pass. He's going to want to throw the football, get the Tigers on their heels early. So many talented offensive players here for the Crimson Tide. But who is Matt's player of the game for Alabama offensively?
My player of the game for this game, I'm going with Najee Harris. I just think, he's been putting in the work in the offseason. I really think, he's going to run behind our offensive line. And I think, the game plan, this first game, I think Sark and Coach Saban are kind of be a little vanilla, so to speak. I don't think they're going to have all the sprinkles and the toppings and all that stuff. I think they're going to try to save those type plays for, tougher opponents like Georgia and possibly Texas A&M on down the road. So I think the game plan is going to be, real vanilla, have some plays, not showing too much. And I think we're just going to, I think our offensive line is going to control the line of scrimmage and dominate. And I think Najee's going to have a big day, as well as all the running backs. So I'm going with Najee Harris as my offensive player of the game.
Matt Caddell's got Najee Harris as his offensive player of the game. For me, give me Mac Jones. Mac Jones is my offensive player of the game. I think game one, Sarkisian and Coach Saban, as balanced as they want to be, and they do, I think they also want this to be Mac's coming out party, or the start of the coming out party, to show the world not only can he run this offense, but he can put in some pretty big numbers within this offense. I think Sark's going to have some plays that he's gone over with Mac to where Mac can air the ball out, get Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, John Mechie, and everybody else involved early. I think Mac wants to prove to the college football world, hey, I can sling the football. I can put points on the board. You saw me put up 40 against Arkansas last year. I put up 40 plus against Auburn last year. I am that guy that can run this offense. I think Mac Jones, to me, my player of the game offensively here for the Crimson Tide going up against Missouri. But flipping this from offense to defense, the side of the football to where Crimson Tide fans want to see big improvement. The last 2 years been kind of a struggle, had some injuries, things of that nature, players back healthy, you got continuity on the coaching staff. So my man, Money Matt, your defensive player of the game against those Mizzou Tigers.
This was a tough one, but I'm going to go with Dylan Moses. I think he's going to
How tough was it really, man? Be real with me. How tough was this really?
It was really tough because, we have so many players. We got Christian Harris. We have Will Anderson.
Okay.
DJ Dale, Barmore, Blvd, Jordan Battle. There's so many. So I just went with, the head honcho, the main man, the alpha dog in the middle, Dylan Moses. I think he's going to be the player of the game to really get us lined up in situations, keep the defensive front prepared, give the signals to the secondary, be aggressive. And I think that's going to make our defense that much better. I think he's going to go out there and set the tone on a couple hits, maybe come up with some tackle for losses and really, really set an identity for our defense. So I'm going with Dylan Moses as my defensive player.
Dylan Moses setting that defensive tone as the man in the middle at Mike linebacker, according to my man Matt Caddell here. For me, defensive player of the game, and I talked about him in the first segment, I got to go DJ Dale here. I mean, defensive tackle, nose guard, to me, is probably the most important position, or one of the most important positions on defense, because at that nose guard spot, you got to play the most disciplined, the most fundamentally sound football. You got to hit your gap. You got to read your keys. You got to be able to take the center and the guard and throw them in the backfield to disrupt the timing of the play starting by the opposing offense. And it's that nose guard that really frees up the defensive ends, the outside linebackers, and the inside linebackers to fly around and make those plays. So for DJ Dale, year 2, first game of the season, how effective can he be stuffing the running back, the run game of Larry Roundtree, but most importantly, disrupting the entire timing of that Missouri offense coached by Elijah Drinkwitz, a disciple of Gus Malzahn. Want to see what DJ Dale does here in this matchup. He is my defensive player of the game, which throws us to an interesting wrinkle here. If you're just tuning in, folks, to the show, we got Matt Caddell on the phone line, former Alabama receiver from 2003 to 07. We're breaking down our potential players of the game for Alabama against Missouri on offense and defense. But now we go to our fun wrinkle here, our freshman of the game. Which freshman, which newcomer, which young blood will have his imprint on this matchup against Missouri? Matt, your freshman of the game.
For me, it's real simple. It's Will Anderson. He's one of the few freshmen that's starting. He's on that outside linebacker position. He's a pass rush sensation. I think he's going to really affect, the quarterback getting pressure. Our defensive tackle is going to get pressure up the middle, but I really think off the edge, him giving us a weapon on the end is going to really help us really have that identity on third down and really be able to get out the field on third down. Maybe we can draw some double teams in the future and really free up some other guys, put that pressure on the quarterback, have them, either throw early or get some tip passes where we get some turnovers. So I think right now my freshman of the game is Will Anderson.
You've got Will Anderson, Matt. I'm going to go with Malachi Moore. Going to go with Malachi Moore at the star position in nickel. He came in kind of overlooked, kind of underrated, but he put his head down, immediately went to work, made some big plays in camp, had a great camp, had 2 great scrimmages. I want to see him be able to not only create solid tackles in space, but can he get a couple of interceptions? Can he get a couple of picks? Because I remember, a lot of Alabama's huge marquee defensive backs, they have always made plays in games as freshmen, and Malachi Moore, the next one in line here. So I'm going to go with Mr. Moore out of Hewitt-Trussville High School now at the University of Alabama. But kind of the thoughts to wrap this up here, Matt, just to you, what's going to be the biggest key here in this game for Alabama if it wants to cover the 27-point spread? What's the biggest key of the game for the Tide?
Well, I think for me the biggest key is obviously to dominate and play 60 minutes. I think the first string is really going to have to go out there and dominate and prove themselves. I think it's important for us, to get some other guys some experience. We have a lot of freshmen. We need to get some more depth at positions, and I think in order for us to do that, first string needs to go out there and dominate and really, control the game, control the clock, control the tempo of the game, and really get as much guys to play as possible. That way we can create depth because you never know what's going to happen. Some players with the coronavirus may be out or things like that. So, and I think it's important we get a win. I think it's important that we get a win on the road. I think that's going to help us on down the road. We get a win at Missouri. Young guys are familiar with the travel going on the SEC road to win. I think that's going to be effective. We play Texas A&M at home, and then after that, we got a tough one at Ole Miss. So I just think all those things are going to help. Us getting a road win, first SEC road win, is going to help our team on down the road. So I think dominating and getting other guys depth and getting that first road win is really going to help our team to get confident and play dominating football on the road in the SEC this year.
To me, the big thing is going to be communication, especially on defense, being able to communicate the calls across the board, making sure everybody knows what they're doing because, once again, Coach Drinkwitz of Missouri, a disciple of Gus Malzahn, he's going to throw a lot of eye candy. He's going to throw a lot of different formations. You got to have to be on your P's and Q's, understanding your gap, playing assignment football, being disciplined, and that all starts with the communication across the board. But he's Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, played from 2003 to 07, always joining us when he can on Wednesdays to break down the Crimson Tide as it prepares for Missouri this Saturday. Matt, as always, man, we appreciate the insight and what you do helping us out here. You be safe, man. Be good. Enjoy the game.
I will, man. I'm going to be decked out in my Alabama gear, and I want all the Alabama fans to give a Roll Tide, and let's get this win on Saturday.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.